Hello, I'm Trisha from So Totally Trisha, and I'm going to show you my brand new, my latest rulers called the Easy Half Square Triangle. Now, they come as a set of two, one with half-inch increments, or half-inch whole plus a half, and the other with whole inch increments. So if you want to make half square triangles like these that are perfect every time, so they match every time, or like those for your pinwheels, this is the way to go. Now, the traditional method for making your half square triangles is to add 7/8 of an inch onto the square that you start off with. Now, who likes trying to find on the ruler the 7/8 or the 3/8 inch markings? So this makes life easy and also makes everything perfect as you go. So the first thing we need to do is to cut two squares of a certain size. Now, in with the half square triangle rulers, you will get a chart which tells you what size to cut, and then when you've actually stitched them, the unfinished size, and once they've been sewn together, what the finished size will be. And that is making 8 at a time, or for making 2 at a time. So first of all, we need to cut ourselves 2 squares in contrasting colours, and I have already done that, and I've cut them at 3 inches square because I want to have, where are we here, 3 inch square, 2.5 inch unfinished, so the same as the width of a jelly roll strip, and there will be 2 inch finished size, so when they're stitched together. So this means you can combine your half square triangles with squares, with quarter square triangles, and get perfect results because they will stitch together because they're accurate in size. So the first thing we'll do, which you probably have already done previously, is to pop your 2 squares right side of fabric together. So I've got a white on white and a little bit of batik. And then we're going to draw one line from corner to corner so that we have the diagonal line drawn in there. And we're now going to stitch a 1/4 of an inch to each side. Now, you may have seen, this is another set of rulers I do, which are the mini quilt ruler set. And the 2 quilts that I showed you at the beginning were 2 of the mini quilts that I've done quite recently. And these rulers are fabulous. They're only 8 inches long, but one is 5 inches wide, which works perfectly with a charm pack or cutting your own. Another is 2.5 inches wide, which works perfectly with your design strips, your jelly roll strips, and the 1 1/4 being half of a jelly roll strip, which is fabulous. No waste when you're cutting. So now that I've drawn my line, I'll just take that to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch 1/4 of an inch to each side of the strip, of the drawn line. So patchwork foot, or move your needle position, or as I have here, I do have my foot is about, just turn the needle size down, is about a quarter, or it is a 1/4 of an inch wide. So I can just use my foot and stitch on either side. I'll show you that side, you'll be able to see. So I've stitched down each side. So having done that, I'm now going to cut on that drawn line so that I can cut my triangles in half. Now, this is the point where you think you would open up your triangles and press them and then trim down to a 2.5 inch. But this is where the easy half square triangle rulers come in. So what we're going to do, let me turn it that side so you can see a little bit better. We are going to use our half square triangle rulers. Now, on this occasion, I'm going to need the 2.5 inch strip. So my ruler here has got the 1/2 inch marking. So 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. And we're working with those dashed lines. So where the 2.5 inch marking is, I'm looking at those dashed lines, and I'm going to place the dashed line down onto my stitched line. So, and then you can see, just bring that in a little bit closer. There we go. So the dashed line is on my stitch line, and you can see there's a little bit of excess fabric on each side. So all we need to do, I'm pressing down on the middle to hold it firm, trim up one side, move my feet so that I can trim down the other side, and then at the same time we can get rid of dog ears. So in that little slot, I like to cut from inside to out, and then what we've done is trimmed our half square triangle to this is going to be a perfect 2.5 inch square. So I'll take in the other one just to show you again. So stitched line along the dashed line, sitting on top of my stitched line, and a little bit of excess on each side. So we'll just roll that along to roughly middle, it doesn't matter. And we will cut down up one side, down the other, fingers out of the way, into that little slot, and we can trim off the dog ears at the same time. So there goes one, and the excess fabric is on each side. Then all we need to do is open that out and press. I haven't got an iron here to show you, but I will just finger press down there, and then the same with the other one. So what I would do with an iron is set the seam by pressing along the seam, push that back, and then press down that seam as well. So there I have two perfect half square triangles, and what I'm going to do to show you that they are perfect size is to cut myself a 2.5 inch square. So I've got a little bit of fabric here. I'll take my 2.5 inch ruler and then I'm going to make it exact by popping it in the middle, and then I can just cut down each side. So I'll just swivel that around so that I can trim down there. So I know that is a perfect 2.5 inch width, and then I'm going to place the ruler on that edge and pop that up there, and I can see that with my ruler. I'm just using the edges of the ruler, which makes life very, very easy. So there is my 2.5 inch square. Here is my 2.5 inch half square triangle, and if I can place that on the top there, you can see it is a perfect 2.5 inch square. And I'll do the same with the other one, and you can see they will then fit perfectly together. So this is where you can combine your squares and your half square triangles. Let's put those together like that, and that together like that, and you have a combination with your half square triangles which will work with your single patch square. So you might like to place them like that, but lots of different combinations just using the easy half square triangle ruler. So depending on the size you need to cut, you have got your ruler with the 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, and also the other one with whole numbers, so down to as small as a 1 inch finished square, a 2 inch finished, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch. So enjoy. These are on the website of www.sewtotallytrisha.net. If you are in the Sew with Trisha group, there is a discount. So take a look on the Sew Totally Trisha page on Facebook and see if it's something that you'd like to belong to, because there are discounts a go-go on all the products I have. So www.sewtotallytrisha.net. I'll be back soon with some more projects and ruler sets. See you soon.